I didn't know anything about God at all. I was totally unchurched and totally ignorant, and my parents are both very well educated. My father went to Yale, my mom went to Northwestern. Their philosophy in parenting was expose my sister and I to everything, and then let us make our own decisions. I was given no moral compass. You can imagine what that means. In high school and college, I was out to have fun. I'm not going to bring glory to sin, but I did everything a frat boy would do, and then some. I didn't get any closer to or farther away from God. I just continued my path of God's over here and I'm over here, and I didn't know anything more, nor did I care at all. Angel put a tack in my seat in the 6th grade. That's how we met.
I did have a horrible crush on him, and he had no idea I existed. The person that he had become, the adult, the grown-up, was not very grown-up. He was still stuck in his college ways of treating women, I don't want to say like property, but he did not treat women respectfully.
Angel and I dated for 3 years, and that was a rocky road at best. The first time I had taken communion was as a non-believer in Episcopal church at my wedding. The first 6 months-ish were just horrible. We hated each other, and we didn't get along at all. And I remember a couple of things. One weekend, she sat down beside me and she said, we had a good weekend, didn't we? I said, yeah, we didn't fight at all. And that was our definition of good. Angel's sister had just gone through a horrible divorce, and she was desperately seeking God. And she found this conference in Atlanta. I said, okay, you want me to drive into Atlanta and work all day, every day, and then go to the Omni at night with 7,000 of my closest friends and listen to this guy preach at me? I still, to this day, I don't know what they said to get me to go, but I went. That's where God hit me right smack in the face with 2 things that I had never heard before. One was, as a husband, it's my job to be the spiritual leader of the home. Now, I didn't know what that meant, but he told me that's my job. Okay, I have a job now. And then regarding money, we were dead broke. We had debt up to our ears. Bill Gothard explained to me that it's not my money, it's God's money. And that there's a certain way that we act with our money that's honoring to God. We started tithing just a teeny little bit, and within 2 years, all of that debt was gone. And we're talking, probably upwards of $30,000, $40,000 worth of debt gone. God was just revealing himself saying, I know what you need, and I'm going to provide it. I didn't know there was a God before that. And I remember specifically sitting on the Glenbridge connector going into work and praying that prayer.
Once he gave his life to God, there was a drastic change in how he treated me and how he treated everyone around him. There was a respect for other people. There was a respect for me, not only as his wife, but as a woman. He was very open to finding other people in the Christian community who could help us find the solutions, work through the problems that we were having.
We had heard Dr. Yusuf on the radio, and I didn't know he was Egyptian. I thought he was Scottish. He sounded like that Scottish comedian. And we started going to Apostles later that year and have never looked back. The first couple of years, we were totally anonymous. We'd sneak in, say hey to a few people. Hey, I recognize you from last time, and sneak back out. And then Jan and Kenneth Yancey, they said, we think you should join our group. And if you know Jan and Kenneth, you know that they're very personable and loving, and they just took us in. They didn't know us from Adam's house cat, but they loved on us for no reason other than we were there. We knew that we wanted to have a family. There was no question about that. Father's Day 2004, we said, we're starting. I still have those words that I wrote down in church on Father's Day. Well, there's 2 children in Kazakhstan today, waiting for a mommy and a daddy. They don't know us yet, but we already love them.
When we walked into the music room and the orphanage at Kazakhstan, and Dub ran across the room with his arms outstretched and screamed, "Papa," that was when we both knew that we were parents.
I think that's how God has revealed himself to me, is most easily explained through the adoption process. What God has revealed to me is that he loves us long before we ever knew him. And then when we finally turn to him and say, Papa, there's an embrace there that you can't replace. It's just God wrapping his arms around you and saying, you're mine.
I think Kevin's success as a parent is that he continually goes back to the Bible and to what God wants us to do with our children, how he wants us to raise them.
So through all this, I know that there is a God. He absolutely wants a relationship with me. He will meet you exactly where you are. It's real. He doesn't make you get cleaned up before you come to him. He grabs you out of the muck and he makes you perfect in his eyes.